My name is Pat Kundick, and I'm the curator at the Silver Reef Museum. Our theme for our companion exhibit, which goes along with the Smithsonian exhibition, is managing change by working together. You know, we came upon this theme because as you study the history of a place, you find that there are a lot of threads going through, and it isn't always the most obvious things that turn out to be very, very important. And this is true with the history of Silver Reef and with Leeds. We had these two contrasting groups of people, and there could have been opportunity for a lot of dissension, misunderstandings, big problems. But instead, we have learned that these folks figured out ways that they needed each other and how they could benefit by their differences. The towns in southern Utah at the time were basically a barter economy. I had peaches and you had tomatoes, so we traded. If you cleaned out my ditch, I would give you some eggs. And it worked just fine, but you never did have much money in your pockets if you needed something. So suddenly here were these hundreds of people living in Silver Reef who had money and who were willing to pay wages and pay for what they bought. So it was a really good exchange of needs and ability to fill those needs and change the economy of southern Utah significantly. Culturally and socially, yes, there were some rubs and there were some misunderstandings, but by and large, we find that when, besides just working together, when the folks played together, some good things happened. We have historical records of some fun times happening. One of the cultural events that happened because folks worked together was so significant that people remember it even today. It happened because a talented Mormon named John McFarland became friends with Father Lawrence Scanlon, who was the Catholic priest in Silver Reef. The result of their friendship was that John McFarland amazingly arranged for Father Scanlon to hold a Catholic high mass in the St. George Tabernacle. And John McFarland, by the way, trained his choir to sing the music for it, and they sang in Latin. The event was a cultural phenomenon, never has been repeated. Thousands of people attended, and it was something that is still talked about because of how that it symbolizes the cooperation of two groups of people. During his sermon at that high mass, Father Scanlon said this:
I think you're wrong, and you think I'm wrong. But this should not prevent us from treating each other with due consideration and respect.
These are wise words for us all, because the early residents in this area managed change. They managed to get along. They managed to work together, and thus the changes that came at that time were manageable and have affected us even today. And it's good advice and a good example for all of us.